Well, hello! Look, you can see my face this time. If you're here, you're learning how to add some sounds to our Snapchat filters using ML5's poseNet. So, the question is, how can I make it so some sounds are triggered when I use different body parts? So, like, perhaps today what we'll do is make it so when I move my nose, let's say to this, everything's inverted. When I move my nose over here, I'll play a sound, and when I move my hand up, maybe it'll play a different sound. All right? So that's the goal today. I want to play different sounds and I'll control those or trigger them using both my nose and my right wrist. Okay, that's the goal. So how are we going to do it? Well, we probably need a little bit of a review on how to get some sounds. So first, let's start by getting some sounds. Let's get that out of there. All right, so you go to freesound.org. That's where you're going to start your search. Now, you might remember, you might not, but you need to have an account to download the sounds here. So once it loads up, don't forget to log in. I'm already logged in, PC equal 2. But you can log in again here. Do this. That's my password. You can guess it. I guess it's like 8 characters. So weak. All right. So now that you're here, you can start looking up some sounds. I already looked up some sounds that I want to use, but we'll just use... Let's do a drum, or you could do whatever you want. All right, you find a sound. Remember, just a little remember about your sounds, they should be 2 seconds or less. So you want a sound that's like, that was 2 seconds, and I thought that was a little long. So you want to do quick sounds. You could do explosions. You could do someone stepping on a pizza. I don't know. You found your sound, okay? You download them. I've already actually downloaded my sounds. You go and download your own. And I would like you guys to have 2 sounds. So on your own, just find 2 sounds that you would like to use for this project. You just go, you download them. You know how it's done. And then meet me back here. I already have downloaded my sounds. You can see them here on my desktop. I got a yell, I got a cat, I got a drum. I'm all set on that. So pause the video, find 2 sounds or more that you'd like to use for this project, and then come back and meet me. All right, now that you're back, what we're going to do is upload those sounds. So you might remember this. What we have to do is now upload them. Oops, it looks like I already did that. Just to remind you how to do it, you go to Add File, you find your files, and you just upload them here. So you got cat, drum. You could add more than one if you want. You just click to upload them. Once you've uploaded them, they should show up in the left-hand corner. So I have 3 sounds. I'll only be using 2, but I got my sounds to choose from. Cat.wave, drum.wave, and yell.wave. All right. So now that I got my sounds, the next part is remember we have to preload those in. So we're going to do function preload, okay? And then we are going to preload our sounds. Oh my God, I forgot the most important part. We have to make our variables. So I'm going to say let cat and let drum. So first we have to make our variables to load the sounds into, and then in the preload function, I'm going to say cat is equal to load sound, and here you put the file name in quotes. So mine is called cat.wave. And then we're going to say drum is equal to load sound. And here I'm going to put drum.wave. All right, so now my sounds are loaded up. They're good to go. But keep in mind, they don't do anything. I just declared my variables and I initialized them with these 2 sounds. They're just sitting there waiting to be used. So obviously when I move my nose around, not much is going to happen. So yeah, we got this yellow thing here, but not much is happening, right? So how can I start triggering this sound whenever I move my nose over here on the left side or right side? I don't know what side. I'm moving right. It looks left. Okay. When I move my nose. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make an if statement. This is kind of like when we used the mouse. We used our mouse to trigger it, but this time we're just going to use an if statement like this. We're going to say if my nose x. So if the x value of my nose, where my nose is less than 200. All right, so if the x value of my nose, the x coordinate of my nose drops to less than 200, which is somewhere around this side of the screen, then what I'd like to do is play the sound. So if, don't forget your 2 curly brackets. So opening curly bracket, closing curly bracket. I know people hate doing that. And what we're going to do is when I move my nose to less than 200, which is this side of the screen. When I move my nose over here, we're going to play that cat noise. So we're going to say, you might remember how to do this. You just say cat.play. Not pay, play. And let's check out if this works. Now guys, your computers are even more laggy than mine, so this might take a while for it to happen, but don't get frustrated. Let's see if this works. So my nose is in the middle, so that means if my screen is 600, this is at like 300. Let's see what happens when I move my nose. Okay, I thought it worked. I think it worked. Let's try that again. Okay, here we go. So it worked. Dope! But there's a problem. You'll notice that the cat sound just kept playing over and over again. So when my nose was there, it was like 1,000 cats screaming. Ooh, that's too many cats. I love cats. That's too many cats. So we want to actually like kind of limit that. So we only want to say play that cat noise if there's not one playing. You might remember how to do this, but what we're going to do is just delete out this cat.play for now, and we're going to put another if statement here. So inside of this if statement, we're going to say another if statement. We're going to say if exclamation point, which you might remember means not, cat dot is playing. So this just checks to see if something is playing. So if this says if the cat is not playing, that sound is not playing, then what we're going to do is cat.play. So we have an if statement inside an if statement. So remember, this now only limits it to playing only if the cat sounds not playing, so they don't overlap. So let's try this again. Let's see how it works out. Nice. Look at that. That is cool. I'll go over here again. Okay. It works. Cool. I'm enjoying this. All right. So the next part is let's use a different body part. You don't just have to use your nose. You can use other things. Like, remember, you have your wrists, you have the shoulders, you even have your ankles available too. Well, so I'm going to actually use my wrist now. So I actually want to play my drum whenever my wrist goes up. All right? So here's what we're going to say. First, I have to actually get the coordinate in my wrist. The nose already did. Remember, that's the code that I gave to you. So for now, I actually have to get where the position of my wrist is. So let's do a little coding to get the wrist position. So now here I'm going to say let right wrist X and let right wrist Y. So now I'm going to get that, creating those two variables. Now in got poses, I'm going to say right wrist X is equal to, well, I'm going to be lazy here, guys. Don't sue me. I'm going to say pose and just change this to right wrist, which is the P5 name for it. The ML5 name for it. Now I'm going to put the X value here. And then let's copy and paste this. And let's say this. Change that to a Y, and we'll change this to a Y. So now I have the right wrist X and right wrist Y. Remember, everything has to be capitalized correctly. If this isn't a capital W, it won't work. If that's not a lowercase x, it won't work. All right, so now let's make it so when I move my wrist, I'm going to say this. When I move my wrist like up, let's see if we could do it. When my wrist is like up here, like in the top of the screen, then I want it to play a noise. So I'm going to say like whenever my wrist is greater than, I don't know, or sorry, less than a certain Y value. So remember, in the top part of this screen over here, right? So let's see if you can move my hand. This is like if my screen, the height is 500, this would be the 250 mark. So I'm going to say if my wrist goes anywhere above here, less than 250 for Y, then I want to play it. And then I want to play my drum noise. Actually, let's do the yell. I kind of like the yell noise more. No, let's do the drum because I loaded in the drum. Okay, so I'm going to say if right wrist Y is less than 250, which is half the screen, so it's on the top half of the screen, and I don't want it to overlap like I did before, and if it is not playing, if drum is playing, I want that to be false, not playing, well, then we're going to say drum.play. Okay, so now what should happen is when I press the play button, I should have it so when I raise my right wrist up, it'll play the drum noise. When I move my nose to the whatever, the plays the cat noise. Also, I want you guys to see my wrist, so let's actually make another wrist circle so you can actually see where my wrist is, so this makes sense for you. Let's make it a green circle. And we're going to say ellipse, at right wrist X, right wrist Y. Please make sure your spelling's okay. And I want this to be, make it just a little bit bigger, so I'm going to say 60. All right, so now you can see where my wrist is, and I have my two if statements. So let's try this out and see if I got a working thing here. So check it out. Okay, let's demo. So when I move my nose, oh man, that is the worst demo ever. I went the wrong direction. Okay, so when I go this way, okay, the cat works. And now let's move my right wrist up. It's following it. Come on. Hey! Let's see if it happens again. Hey! Let's see if it happens again. Hey! And now I can do my cat noise. Oh, I went the wrong direction. Yeah! And now if I go like this. Yeah! Oh, it's freaking it out. That was weird. That was weird. But anyway, it's working. All right. So I got my two sounds here. Maybe you got two sounds. Maybe you could add your left wrist. Maybe you could have your ears do something. Maybe you could have your shoulders do something. Maybe if you make your nose go the other direction, you could have a different sound play. Right? So there's all sorts of different things. Have fun with it. And that's it. That's it for this video. All right, guys. Kiss your mothers. Tell them you love them. And that is it for today's video.